All right, so let's try another installment. Here's what we're going to do. We are reading from T.K.E, and I'm going to go through the topics that we mentioned yesterday. Went through all the topics that have to do with Lag BaOmer. Start with Rabbi Akiva, and then his Talmidim, then the 5 that came after that, and the reason for the numbers and exactly what it is about Lag BaOmer that's supposed to be so sweet. So the Rav explains like this. He says, under this topic, Inyan Lag LaOmer, which he says LaOmer, Sha'aser behesped v'tainis and the filas apayim. So we don't do any of the things we do has to do with mourning. Nothing about mourning, because obviously it's a day of happiness. So what is it? What's so happy about it? What was the difference between the 32nd and the 34th? Let's go to the next thing the Rav says. So he says, you know this, that the 49 days of the Omer, this is time of judgments. Judgments means punishments. Judgment means straightening out. Get your arm straight, but it may hurt, but you have to get it straightened out. Well, it could get real harsh. So that's part of the time that we're here. Shehem Sod Hashach Dinim. So this is the secret of the 320 dinim. Now, the different ways to get to 320, we're not really talking about too much. How do we get the idea of how we got the 320 different types of punishments? What we're trying to do is sweeten them. So during the Omer, what we're actually doing is we're dealing with the worst. The worst is around us and coming at us. And our job, when we count the Sphira and all the things that go with it, is to sweeten that. We're not going to take it away. We just don't want to be something that's so punishing and destructive. We want it to be more creative on that side of itself. Kaminyan HaOmer, because of the number 320, the word HaOmer is a gematria, the number 320. And he said, Vatamhu, the reason is, the Fishadaim Za, who call Memtes Yamim Elu Bebechinas Kap. What? Let me translate again. He says, the reason why we have all these dinim is because Zer Anpen, during all of this time of the 49 days, he is in the Bechina, which is called Katnut. He's small. What does it mean to be small versus what it means to be big? Ad Chaga Shavuos, until Shavuos. And at Shavuos, a tremendous amount of Shefa, a blessing comes in through from Hashem and grows Zah into an adult. Now, just like you know, just even a child has all of the 248 and 365. It's all of the limbs, all of the different parts, the sinews, all the different things, but as an adult. But an adult, of course, is an adult. It's different. It's a different brain than a child has. So maybe that's a metaphor we could use. So he says, now the next one, Yizboyer Inyan Mises Talmid Rabbi Akiva B'mei HaOmer. So let's make a statement. Why did it has to happen? These guys, this man, Rabbi Akiva, and this was pointed out by Rabbi Memem to me, is that you have to really think about what he did with his life. And finally, the culmination of everything that he did, he had 24,000 students. Why is it they had to die now? Couldn't they die, old age? I mean, could they die? Well, just say in March. Why does it have to be sometime in this type of year? So over here we're going to explain. We want to explain why the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva, why did they die during these days? So why is it that the dying stopped? On here he says lamos belag laomer. He calls it lag laomer. So now let's go to the next one. Is Boruch Shorsh Nishmas Rabbi Akiva. To try to understand this, we have to understand that besides us, although as we look at you or you look at me or we look at whatever we see the outsides. But on the inside, we are actually coming from someplace, and we're going someplace. We don't know where it is we're coming from, and we don't understand where we're going. We have our own words for it, birth and death. But on the other hand, there is an eternality within each one of us, and it has a root. That is, when we could attach ourselves to that root. Yisbor Shorsh Nishmas Rabbi Akiva. Rebbe Akiva, Oliver Shalom. Rebbe Akiva, may he be blessed. Let me switch this around a little bit. Shorsh nishmaso choysim benach misha gevuras behi yosef b'shorsham lamala b'das dezah. Their anpin has 10 spheros, depending on how we count it. We call it chochma bina das. So the first 3, das is the first sphera, is up in the rosh area. We understand normally das can be different places, but it's always in the middle. And it's always, we understand it, that is, look inside of me, right? Look inside, the invisible part. There's a Zer anpin that is there somewhere. We're looking for it. We want to try to fix it. And we want to say, this is what the Rab is showing. He wants to show us how it could fix. What's the big deal about La Omer, that that's where the fixing takes place. So he said, up above, up in das. Let's say das in the neck. So the inside of that das that's in the neck, there are going to be 5 gevuros inside of that das. And there are going to be 5 chasadim also. He's going to mention that inside of this das. And this das is an extension that goes down to the chest area, into the body. So let's see how it goes. The gevuros behi yosef b'shorshel lamala b'das dezah. Below bebechinas, and not from the aspect his pashtusam lamata begufa, and not when they actually start moving into the body of Zah, in order to grow Zah, in order to grow him to a position where he can actually mashpia to his female aspect, which we call the nukta Zah. It's pashtusam lamata begufa. That's before they go, they're mispashet, they're inside. That's where Rebbe Akiva is. He's not part of his pashtus into the gufa Zah. The root of Rebbe Akiva is in this concept that we talk about here. This is in the Das of Zah, there are 5 chasadim and 5 gevuros, and he's from the side of the gevuros. And remember, gevuros are dinim. But we said there's 2 aspects that get repeated enough times. There's a din that is harsh, and we all know about that. But dinim, which are not that harsh. Just to think about women for a minute who have to deal with these dinim in childbirth and raising children, all the things they have to do. They're constantly dealing with it, but they do it in a soft way. It creates, it shapes. We're looking for that soft way to get out of the hard way. So he says like this, is pashtus lamata begufa, that it's still, while it's still in a high level, then let's say like around the neck, Behinehu besod das. Rebbe Akiva is that secret. Bein besod hagadlus, bein bezman hakatnus. Where we're talking about the time, the secret of what we call gadlus, of adulthood, and smallness or childhood. It's not adulthood and childhood. We understand that gadlus means when there is a level of actualization that we can come to. It is open to us every single day, 3 times a day. That we come to a unity with God, whereas we can see this perspective that the Shekhinah sees, sort of, in our own way. That's godless. But most of the time we're busy with all the problems that we have and so on and so forth. It's just to understand this concept of godless and kindness. So he says, Kamoshe Kassandra ve'ero be'inyan Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom she'em v'Rabbiyanes Moshe mefonav, that we said over there, the Moshe ran from its presence. V'ayin sham be'inyan kriyas yam suf, and then there's also something about das that has to do with these 2 places, but we're not going to go into that right now. Okay, let's do one more. He says, Yizboyer sharadas the katnus. Now he wants to explain, once again, that the das of the level which is called katnus, kolu mehei chasadim vehei gevuros, it has inside of it 5 chasadim and 5 gevuros, upratich ha'shemos shalachem, and all the different details of their names. B'hinei nodeh ki hadas the katnus. Now, listen to this. If we say there are 5 different aspects of, I don't know the right word, there are 5 different gevuros. They are Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, and Hod. That's what they're called. These Gevuros are Grozah. They're part of they actually grow the Nuktazah. But Rebbe Akiva is crucial inside of the action of these Gevuros. So he says, look at this. V'hinei noide ki hadas the katnus, gamku kolam b'chasadim Gevuros. So the das, when in katnus, are godless. Das has 5 chasadim and 5 gevuros in it. V'shtei itrim elo heim shem Elokim demilui alafim. Now, there's a whole lot to be said right now. I don't know. I was going to read it out, and then maybe we'll come back to it in the next shir. He says Elohim Shem Elokim Demilui Alafim. You can spell out the name of Elokim like Aleph Lamed Fe, K Yud, and go Lamed Mendalid, Elo. The next one is going to be Kuf, a Hey rather. And that Hey could be spelled either Hey Yud, Hey, or Hey Aleph. This one is spelled with a Hey Aleph, and it has to do with the gematria of this name. Elisha Elokim, the Chesed, but the Elokim that's in Chesed, Ha'elef Demilui Haku Shabo Hu B'tzir Yovi. Now that is, you have a Yud on the top and a Vav on the diagonal, and you have a Yud down below. I call this Yovi. What do they call whatever they want? This is a Yud Vav Yud. But the Aleph that gets switched inside, they're different. So they're going to have different gematrias, going to be different things. Betzir Yud Vav Daled. Keniskar, the El B'Drush Rishon, we already explained this, he said apparently in the Drush Rishon, I haven't seen it lately. Binyan Shtei Kosas, the Leil Pesach, it has to do with that over there. Shlishi, V'Chadavi, Ayin Sham, look over there.